welcome to the next lesson of Alif to Ya, the two lips. It has two specific areas and four letters. One specific area has the letter Fa, the other has Ba, Meem, and Waaw. Ba, Meem, and Waaw. The first is Fa. This is when the inside of the bottom lip, so the inside of your bottom lip, connects with the edges of your upper teeth. So your upper middle teeth connect with the inside of your bottom teeth. Fa, fa. Okay. Then we have fa, fi, fu, fa, fi, fu. This is how it looks in the beginning with the example fa inna. In the middle, yakfuru, and at the end, alfa. So can I have my first volunteer to read these letters?
Fa, fi, fu, فإن, يكفر, يكفر, ألف.
Good. So with alfa, just do that one more time.
ألف.
Good, that's fine. Okay, no problem. Jazakallahu khairah. We're going to move on now, inshallah. The first one up is ba. Between the two lips, pressing the lips together. Ba, bi, bu. Ba, bi, bu. Bihi nabadha rabbi.
Ba, bi, bu.
Just the ba, make it a bit more empty in your mouth. Instead of ba, ba, ba.
Ba, ba, bi, bu. Bihi, nabadha, rabbi.
Good. Next one is Meem, two lips pressed together. Ma, mi, mu. Minhum, alimu, lakumu.
Ma, mi, mu. Minhum, alimu, lakumu.
Good. The last letter is Waaw. Waaw. Between the two lips, forming a circle without the lips meeting. Now, this one is actually not commonly pronounced correct. It needs to be more circular. Wow. Wow. It needs a lot of effort. It can't be wow. 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 It needs quite a bit of effort into it. So wa, we, wu, wama, alimu, law, law.
Wa, we, wu, wama, alimu, law,
Low.
law.
Good. So what you did in the first time, you bounced it slightly. You said low. So low.
Law.
Good.
Wa, vi, wu.
So with the we, it sounded a bit like there was like a V interfering a bit. So we.
Vi,
So circle
Vi.
your lips even more.
vi,
So start with the default position as this. We.
vi,
Good. And the last one.
wu,
Good. And the ones at the bottom.
wama,
Good. The ma could be more empty though. Wama.
wama,
Good.
alimu,
Good.
law,
Low. So more circle. Low.
law.
Good. Very good. Okay, so alhamdulillah, those are all the makhraj done. This is lesson 1. It's split into the actual lesson, and then there's 3 exercises with it. I tell everybody, whenever I talk about this, never, ever, ever do the first page lesson 1. Never, ever, because the transliteration is absolutely poor. Okay, try to encourage the student to get used to the actual Arabic letters instead of relying on transliteration. Transliteration is the Arabic way of pronouncing something in another language, or just how to pronounce something in another language. However, there are certain letters in Arabic that don't exist in English, so you can't replicate it. So I always start from exercise 1, 2, and 3. And then I do it in stages. So I'll teach Alif to Jim, for example, tell them to identify it from exercise 2, etc., etc. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing. Okay, so I'm going to ask somebody to quickly read exercise 1, then exercise 2, and then we're going to get a few volunteers for exercise 3, inshallah. So to begin with, exercise 1.
Alif, ba, ta, fa, jim, ha, kha, dal, ذال را
So the raw, just don't go raw, just raw, raw.
را
So you're still rolling it a tiny bit before. Raw.
را
Okay, next one.
ذا سين شين صاد ضاد طاء ظاء
So there,
عين
do that va again. Va,
ظاء
va.
ظاء
Yep.
عين غين
So
فاء
rain again.
غين
A bit more cleaner. Rain, rain,
غين
rain,
غين
rain,
غين
rain.
غين
Okay, practice that one. Just make it a bit more, make it flow a bit more. Rain.
نعم غين
One more time.
غين
So it's still got a bit of a. No worries. Let's move on, inshallah. Practice that one.
فاء قاف كاف لام ميم نون واو همزة no ha hamza ya
Good. Do wow again for me.
wow
So wow,
wow
wow.
wow
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go from a circular lip, do the stretch, then go back to a circular lip again. Wow.
wow
Good. And this letter, I'm gonna put my cursor around. What's the name of this letter, if you remember?
زي
Zai. Zai. Yeah, that's fine. Jazakallah khairah. Very good. Okay. Can I have my next volunteer for exercise 2, which is the letters jumbled up?
Ha,
A bit more breath
ta,
for you.
ha,
Good.
ta, tha, ba, jim, bo, vo.
So can I pause you for a second? So at the moment, what I'm noticing is when you're doing the stretch, you're going do, tha. So try to make it consistent. Da, tha, ba. Try again.
Okay. Da, ba, sorry. Da, tha, ba, jim, bo, vo,
Empty,
they,
empty, empty,
tho,
empty. The instead of the.
the,
Good.
za, sin, sod, qaf, dod, no, kha,
Good. Just
bo,
a bit less phlegm. Ho, ho.
kha,
Good.
vo, ghain,
So that one make
ain,
it a bit more cleaner. Rain, rain.
ghain,
Yeah, a bit more full mouth. Rain.
ghain,
Good.
a, hamza, no,
What's this one?
ha,
What's this one?
ain,
Yeah.
ha, shin, ra, lam, mim, noon, wow, fa, ya, hamza, kaf,
Calf. A
dal,
bit more here. Calf.
daf, dal, alif.
Good. Very good. Jazakallah khairah. We're going to go to the next one, which is again jumbled up in different order. So there's two parts to this. This is the first part. So I want one person to do the first box.
ألف دال را همزة طا حا واو سين
Wow could be more circular. Wow.
واو سين ها عين صاد كاف نون با ضا جيم فا ذال غين تا ضاد زا خا قاف شين يا ثا
Excellent.
تا زي كاف حمزة باء سين ثاء صاد جيم ظاء
A bit more full mouth.
دال
Vo.
ظاء
More full mouth. Vo.
ظاء دال خاء
More full mouth. Kho.
خاء
More full mouth. Drop your tongue a bit more. Kho.
خاء
More.
خاء
Like really force your middle of your tongue down. Kho.
خاء
Good.
ضاد
Full mouth. Lord.
ضاد
And remember, it's from the sides, yeah? Lord.
ضاد لام ذال
Lam.
لام ذال
Good.
طاء شين فاء حاء غين ياء ميم حاء قاف راء عين واو
Wow. It's more circular.
واو
Wow.
واو
So start off with the circular lips and then let the sounds come. Wow.
واو
Good.
تاء غين ميم را جيم لام قاف
Lam, a bit more empty. Lam.
لام قاف ضاد حاء تاء هاء صاد ياء فاء كاف ذال باء خاء
Kho.
خاء
So say ghain,
غين
and where you feel the pressure, exact same place. Kho.
خاء
Good.
خاء طاء سين دال زي ظا شين عين نون ألف
Good.
همزة ضاد تاء زي فاء حاء باء عين صاد ظا جيم ذال خاء غين ياء قاف شين
And the one before that?
تاء.
Good. Excellent. That's lesson 1 done. Then next is lesson 2. Now this is where we do joining letters. Now there's 6 pages in total. The first is generally a page. First three pages I generally ignore. It just gives you a breakdown of each letter and how they look in the beginning of a word, middle of a word, and end of the word, just like we've been doing for every single makhraj. And there's different styles or different variations it has. So notice that there are sometimes multiple ways that it looks. So for example, ba, ta, tha, you see that there's different ways that it can be written. And these will become apparent in the following examples that we have. Now, I ignore this, but when it comes to the next 3 pages, what I tend to do, I tell the student, ignore this top. I tell them completely ignore that. I tell them, look at these 5 lines for 2a. So it goes over 2 pages. I tell them, don't use 2a. Find these from here. I tell them to find it from here. And that way it strengthens their searching for letters and a bit of independency. So then when I test them and they're really, really struggling, then and only then do I tell them to use this bit. Now that requires a lot of trust because it's really easy to look up, but that's what I advise. If you can avoid getting them to use this, that would be excellent. And then when it's extremely struggling, then you can tell them to use it. Same for 2b and same for 2c. So we're going to do each of these as an example. So I need your volunteers. So if you can read the exercises, I don't want you to look at the top. I just want you to start from the exercises, the 3 on the bottom and then the 2 on the left.
غين همزة با فا لام صاد Noon, Tha, Kha, Hamza,
Not Hamza.
Ain,
Yep.
Shin, Meem, Ha, Ha, Qaf, Sin, Dad, Ta, Jim, Ya, Ka, Kaf,
So don't
Noon,
look at the top. Good, good, very good.
Ba, Tha, Ta, and Ya.
Excellent. So what I tell students to do is if they struggle on a letter with a dot, I tell them name me all the letters with a dot at the top, whether it looks like this or not. So then they'd say one dot, yeah? So kha, dad, ghain, fa, noon, whichever other letters, yeah? So za, the. So I tell them to figure out which letters have the dots at the top. And then we do a process of elimination as well. So that's one way. So very good. Well done. 2b. So 2b only has 2 lines. And again, just the name of the letter. And this is towards the end, you're going to introduce multiple letters.
Ain, Tha, Ha, Ghain, Qaf, Ba, Kha, Ba, Ghain, Noon, Ain, Ba, Qaf, Noon, Jim, Ya, Mim, Kaf, Alif.
Excellent. So some of you may have thought, how does she know which order to do this one and this one? The way it works is there's a letter that is diagonal. So if I was to go to the previous lesson, you can see here ba, ta, tha, noon, and ya is diagonal. Same with if we go to the actual breakdown, you can see it's diagonal. Yeah, there's diagonal version. So that is the first letter. It will either be a ba, ta, tha, noon, or a ya. The second letter, if I was to block that bit out, the second letter looks like a jim, ha, or a kha. So the second letter will always be a jim, ha, or a kha. The first will be a ba, ta, tha, noon, ya. Where do the dots go? Put a line in between it. Whichever one goes on the right goes to the top line. So because Arabic is read from the right to the left, whichever one comes first, i.e. the one on the far right, that is the letter for the diagonal line. So here, ba this dot is for the ba. This shape has one dot at the top, so it's kha. The one at the bottom here, we have, if I put an imaginary line, the top one comes first. And so this line here has one dot at the top, which is noon, and there's one dot at the bottom here, which is jim. And 2c. So this is the final lesson of the day.
Ba, Sin, Ta, Ra, Ta, Mim, Jim, La, Jim, Lam,
Lam, a bit more emptier. Lam,
Jim, Lam, Ha, Jim, Kha, Ta, Sin, Dot,
dal,
Shin,
dal, empty.
Sin, Dal, Shin, Ra, Ghain, Zal, Sad, Ba, Dot, Dal, Ghain, Mim, Fa, Zal, Qaf, Lam, Kaf, Noon, Ya, Mim,
Not
Noon,
yeah, not yeah. There's no dots.
Alif, Mim,
Not alif. Alif doesn't join to the left. What else is tall like an alif?
Hamza,
A straight line. No, there's no hamza there. So it's a straight long line, but it's not an alif.
Lam, it's a Lam,
Lam, lam, good,
Lam, Mim,
good.
Noon, Kaf, Ha, Lam,
So ha, make it less breathy. Ha, lam, ha, lam.
Ha, Lam,
Good,
Hamza, Zal,
good. With hamza here, this is going to be the not breathy one. If you make it breathy, then it's Hamza, and that is the name of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's uncle, Hamza radiallahu anh, who is the lion, which basically means lion. So it's not ha, 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 the normal English H, yeah? Hamza, dhal.
Hamza, Zal,
Good,
Ya, Ra, Tha, Jim, Za,
not za.
نون تاء
Good,
ثاء باء نون ظاء
good,
حمزة عين
good.
لام ألف كاف لام ميم ميم تاء I don't see the other one. No,
Around
I
the
see.
bottom.
باء حاء كاف ألف
Good,
تا ياء ثا ياء با ياء لام ياء نون ياء.
excellent, excellent. So that is our lesson done. So today we've done Ash-Shafatayn and we've done lesson 1 and lesson 2. Okay, so those that have a bit of time, inshallah you can see that. So these examples are as follows. You'll see something like this, and you might see something like that. This is split into two. Line that is diagonal is first part, and then there's the obvious Jeem shape there. So if I was to do this in a different color, you may notice it. So the first diagonal line like that, and then like this, you'll be able to notice it. Then it's just about where the dots come. So the easiest way is the second letter will always be one of these letters. A Jim, which has a dot at the middle, Ha, which has no dot, and Kha, which has one dot. Or if we were to do it like this, Jim looks like that, Ha looks like with that with no dot, Kha with one dot at the top. So the second letter will always be that. The first letter, on the other hand, is going to be one of these. It's going to either be a ba, a ta, a tha, a noon, or a ya. Ba will look like this with one dot. Ta will look like this with two dots at the top. Tha will look like this with three dots at the top. Noon will look like this with one dot at the top. And ya will look like this with two dots at the bottom. Okay, so that's how it would look. So if I do, that's first, so recognizing the letters. Then it's about, okay, I've understood the diagonal line is one letter and it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I understood the second letter is one of these three. But how do I know which dot goes where? And this is where I say, draw a line in the middle. So here, the top example, if I was to do a line in the middle to separate it, I can clearly see here that this one I'm going to circle in purple is on my far right-hand side. So because that comes first, I need to look on my first list here to say which letter has one dot at the bottom. And there's only one, which is ba. And so we select ba. And then I know that the second letter, which I'm going to circle in black, is at the top. I know it could be either jim, ha, or kha. Which one has a dot at the top? Kha. So I know that is kha. So if this benefits people, those that want to stay for a bit more exercise, I'm going to draw some random ones. And if anybody wants to have practice, feel free. I'm going to draw it in the sense of without the colors, okay? So I'm just going to draw one color, so which is that. What two letters are there? Da, jim. Excellent. How about now?
تا خا.
Which one's the first one?
The first one is ta and the second one is kha.
So not this one here. I want you to look at the other one. I think you are, but it's
Noon.
not da, noon. Noon
Noon
and
kha.
good. How about that?
Noon jim.
Good. How about that?
Ba jim.
How about that?
باح.
Excellent. Does anybody else want to have a go at that? So I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it in black now. So we got our shape here.
با جيم
Excellent.
ها
A bit more breath here. Ha.
ح
Good.
نون خ
Good.
تا خ
Good. Kha, a bit more full mouth. Kha.
خ خ
Good. Let's do one more. Let's make it. And there.
ثا ج
Jeem. Yeah, excellent.